The Council has assembled. They are eager to hear your report.
Hello, welcome to the Council. We begin tonight's meeting of the Council by calling the Council to order. Hello to everyone, and thank you for joining us. The Council's a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I am Elise, and with me are my fellow Council members, Retna, Magic Ace,
Yo,
and Sakari. I don't know if Redna's like seriously, like I didn't hear him, but maybe that's just me.
Who? Wait, is Sakari talking?
Okay. Oh my. Okay. Well, this week we're going to talk about the new posted changes to Conquest. I know we've talked about Conquest recently, but we're going to talk about the new changes that are coming via Keith's post or Eric's post. So,
and after all of that awesome talking, you can find our recorded episodes everywhere that those episodes are found, like thecouncilswotor.com. You can also find all of our social medias like Twitch, The Council SWTOR. We also have facebook.com/thecouncilswotor, and on Twitter. Guys, we're on Twitter, and when I get a hold of the Twitter account, there's memes everywhere, and that is at the Council SWTOR. And then we also have a Patreon page, which is patreon.com/thecouncilswotor. And if you just generally Google us, we're pretty much everywhere. And you know it's the right place because you'll see this face. So anyways, you should check us out there. It's really great.
Okay, so confession to everybody before I get the icebreaker started. Apparently I had no sound also. So they're like, hey, you got no sound. I looked down and sure enough I'm muted. I'm like, dang it. I thought I was the one who got it right. And apparently like Redna had no sound, and then Magic had no video, and then I had no sound. So
it was just me and me.
It was entirely you. You were the star of the show. You were carrying the rest of us.
Fortunately, the most important one got all the time.
All right, so
wait, are you saying I have to do all that over again or something?
No, you're good. It just paused on you when you said it.
It's probably because I'm back on the crappy computer, but I mean, whatever.
Oh yes, it's been a tough
crappy computer that you're giving to Magic Hubby,
which is an upgrade from the crappy laptop of mine that he was using, so he can't really complain. And his new one will be here in about 3 weeks.
Oh yay, fun.
Awesome.
Well, here's hoping you get your computer stuff worked out, because it sucks when you get something new and you're all excited about it and then it doesn't really work out. So, all right, so let's get into the icebreaker for the evening. Icebreaker is the part where we just kind of get the discussion started. The question that I have is, have you ever actively participated in Conquest in SWTOR, and how did it go for you when you did? Now, chat, feel free if you'd like to respond to this as well. Let us know what you think. Anything that we think stands out, we'll mention during the show. With that, let's start. I guess Elise is the star. She's been carrying us. Let's reward her with the first go at this.
So I can't say that I attempt to get all of my personal Conquest goals every week, but I make stuff for Guildy to find that important, and usually when it's crafting week I usually make my stuff. Or I think there was a couple of times where like PvP was like really heavily weighted or something, and miraculously I managed to make my personal goal, but I've never actually been in like a guild one where we make the leaderboard. Ever.
So do you get it more incidentally, like, oh hey, boom, there it is?
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha.
Except for during crafting weeks, I tend to try. Don't always make it, but I try and hit my personal goal, at least on the weeks where it's the Titans of Industry or whatever that week. Yeah. So that's what I do. Conquest.
Sounds good. Magic, what about you? Have you ever had a good shot at Conquest? How'd it go for you?
Oh my freaking gosh, yes. Because when Conquest first came out, I was so excited. And I tried so hard. I was on Shadowlands at the time. I tried so hard to get my guild up there. And for a while on the pub side, we were doing really good. And then, guilds like Bloodbath and Beyond. It was, see over there, I don't remember what it was now. It's been too long. This is last year. But anyways, there was this guild over there that just started like dominating. Sick of You. It was Sick of You. That was the name of the guild. And I ended up succumbing to the need to get Conquest, and I joined that guild just so I could do it because I was so dang sad that we couldn't get on the Conquest board anymore. And now in this server, I am in Brutality, and we've been number 2 on the board for 4 weeks. And I'm like, I put 3 or 4 tunes in that guild just for the pure purpose of like pumping points into that guild so that we could stay on the board.
Well, that's cool. So you're actually actively doing Conquest now.
Yes, very much so. I didn't for a while. Like when I first came to the server and joined UA, I wasn't really doing it because they're not really into Conquest.
Unholy Alliance is not.
But,
right.
Yeah. But no, I really very much love Conquest. I just wish I could actually win.
Yeah, to get the number 1 spot is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's the truth. Redna, I'm gonna let you go first, unless you go first.
When did Conquest come out?
Oh goodness, when Strongholds came out, didn't it? All came out at once in 2.8 or something way back then.
Wow, so like 3 or 4 years ago. No, 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh.
I mean, yeah,
Not
we were
5,
right into it on the Bastion. Right? It was we were getting planets and stuff, and I remember like, okay, we knew who the competitive ones were. We would our guild would go to the planet that the other guilds decided they weren't going to. I think I got most of the planets. I know I haven't gotten them all, and I will eventually probably end up joining a guild to finish it off so that I can get that Galaxy Conqueror title, which the chat room has so judiciously pointed out as being one of the coolest.
It is one of the coolest. You have to work for it though, my goodness.
Well, you just got to be in a guild that's participating. Or you got to be in a guild that's working for it. You don't have to work for it so hard yourself as long as you get your Conqueror points for the
No,
week.
not in a guild that's participating. You only get it if you're in a guild that's dominating.
Okay.
Until they find out that you're not doing anything and they punch you like the week before they all get the title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dang it, man.
There's weekly Conquest goals and stuff they have to do, right?
Yeah. They watch everyone's numbers.
Talks about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's going to be a contributor.
Yep.
I did really enjoy it, and then when people when they stripped the identity from the servers, and so people started server hopping and everything, I kind of lost all interest around. Probably a little bit before that, but it was like I'd never really been in an organized enough guild to even try to be on the top 10, let alone win the planet.
Right.
So I haven't really engaged. It's always a surprise, like that one week when all of a sudden it pops up, you've completed your Conquest goal. I was like, oh, cool. What was I doing?
Whoop, there it is.
Yeah.
I always get those pops when I've been crafting in PvP. Like, that's it. If I craft in PvP, it's like, oh, you did it. You got this. And I'm like, oh, man, I was just having fun. I wasn't actually grinding.
No, it is definitely nice when you get it accidentally. It just suddenly pops up and there it is. You managed to somehow do it. I've had heavy PvP weeks where it'll show up on me. And that's really cool. But at least I'm more or less in your camp, where for me, I get it accidentally, but I don't actively put any kind of effort into chasing my Conquest goal. I was a guild master just a couple years, 3 years ago maybe, before I joined Unholy Alliance. Back when we were on the Bastion, my guild was Vindictive. I think they may still be running around. I think somebody else may have taken over leadership, or there is a Vindictive now that we're all on Satil Shan together. I look at that guild sometimes and wonder if it was the one I started. But the cool thing is, like when we were doing that, we were into it and trying to make it happen, and it was cool to actually be a part of a guild effort to try to make the Conquest thing happen. That's really cool. But since I got out of that, I haven't at all pursued it in any kind of way. So I'm now in Elise's camp very, very thoroughly. Don't chase it down. Oh, yes. Okay, so how about... Does someone want to say something?
Yeah, how about the poll?
Okay.
Yeah, what about the poll?
How about the poll?
That's where I thought we were going.
We're only
but
at the poll.
I was gonna lead us there. Then I heard somebody say something that made me think, okay, hold on, someone else wants to say something. So
No, you probably heard the squeaking in my chair. It sounds like I'm trying to interrupt you.
okay, then. All right. So at least you wanna well, what I'll do is let me send to chat the question. Let's let chat answer it. And then Elise, if you would like to walk us through the poll options.
Well, for this week, we're asking you about how you feel about the conquests, or rather how that might change your playing style. So the question was, will you be playing Conquest after the changes to Conquest go live in 5.8? The answers are yes, no, or what changes, what is Conquest?
You know, it just struck me that I missed last week, and then I completely forgot that I needed to put that into an alphabetical order. So I failed this week. I apologize.
Yes, Redna has been the mastermind behind having it A, B, and C as the starting letters of all of our options the last couple of weeks.
And we are thoroughly disappointed in you, Redna. How dare you let us down?
Granted,
It has been entertaining.
we let ourselves
say.
down because wasn't it yesterday? At least it's like, hey, do we have a poll? And the rest of us are like, what poll?
Yeah.
So we kind of threw some ideas together, and I put it out there as quickly as I could. So maybe
No, I didn't
failed.
say what poll. I'm like, I've been too freaking sad over my computer. I was thinking about the poll. Okay, I was like in mourning over my graphics card dying, but it's okay. It's being replaced. So
Oh, indeed.
that's why we didn't have a poll, because I was in mourning.
Well, Chad has definitely has started to answer the poll. Feel free to answer A, B, and C, whichever one of those is your option. Let us know. We'll give it a few minutes to collect all the answers, and then we'll move on from there. Elise, what are you going to say?
I felt bad that I brought that up and then I didn't actually help do the poll. But my husband was like, you haven't seen Doctor Strange yet. We're going to watch it. So, like, right after I put that out. So I was kind of like, whoops, I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what? I think you did well enough in pointing out that we needed one. That was, or else we would have showed up now and said, what's the poll? And there would be exactly 4 answers on it, and it would be us. So I think it's probably good that we did that.
Well, then it would still look like it was good. We would just hide the percentage of it.
Right.
Well, I mean, we still had 323 votes. That's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, it is pretty good.
not
That's
likely.
the one good thing is put it out there on Reddit, and people on Reddit answer polls. They like to give their opinions. That's for sure.
Okay, but did you read some of the responses? They were flipping hilarious, some of them.
Feel free to sprinkle the episode with them.
Let me see if I can. All right, let's. We're gonna
Yeah.
chat
Read out the
by
ones that you think are
chat.
funny. They're definitely worth bringing up. Redna, how would you have answered this poll while she's looking a few of those up?
Okay, so I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I first read the poll and I hadn't really paid attention to what I was reading in the notes, I said no. Because it was like, meh. But then there's something that we'll discuss later that I think I'm solidly in a yes at this stage.
Really, you have been converted.
Wow, I am shocked.
Redna's being a team
was actually
player.
rather surprised.
I know, right? Interesting. We'll give Elise a second or two to look up. One or two of the things that people have said, and Magic is AFK right now. So,
Well, then you can tell me, Sakari.
I
because
will.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Redna. No. I was a yes, but
You were from the get-go.
from the get-go, yeah, I was a yes because I'm usually because the way the question was worded, will you be playing? You know, if I'm at least going to put my toes in it, I'm going to say yes to that. I will. Usually, whenever they come up with anything new to the game, I try to go see it, experience it. If it doesn't appeal to me, I don't follow
I
it.
see.
If I like it, I will jump in. Conquest is for me one of those ongoing game mechanics that provides further interest. We've had this topic, we've spoken about Conquest before on the show, and all of the different things that we wish it would happen. And I think, having read the show notes, we'll talk about them more extensively here in a minute, or the post rather, that outlined all of these changes. I think it's a step in the right direction. So I'm going to definitely try it out. I'm going to give it a good go, and if it appeals, I'll keep doing it. That's my answer to that. So, Elise, what about you? Do you think you're going to be trying some of this out?
I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm changing my behavior from now.
So if
and
the
going
goals are
forward.
easier to fulfill, then you will be getting it more often. But
Correct.
otherwise,
Exactly. So if my daily habits, pseudo at the beginning of the week going, oh, okay, what's on there? Okay, well, maybe I'll do this. And I'll go like kill stuff and hunt up, pick the crap up off the ground on this planet and this planet. Maybe I'll suggest for WOG that we do this operation, and then I'll do some PvP, and ooh, maybe I can get some of my crafting done. If that kind of lazy, like whatever, it ends up like being lucrative, then yay. It still doesn't go far enough for me to make it something that I'm like, ooh, although of course they said decorations, and so I'm like,
Decos is the catch.
whoa,
Right.
decos, okay, you have my attention, but I still wanted something more. And I said it on the show last time when, I wanted more kind of like teaming up or something like that to really kind of challenge. And I do like what they did with the Stronghold, though. We can talk about that later, but I did like that change.
Right.
Because I refuse to put meat trees in my Stronghold.
Meat tree orchard stronghold, yeah. No kidding.
That's right. I refuse. And there was a lot of angst about that, by the way, on Reddit. Like, serious, like...
Really? People were...
saltiness about that change.
Because they had spent
Reddit.
hours laying out meat trees. Meat trees and chairs.
No, it was more so... Basically, there was several, maybe even many, respondents who said, I wouldn't have bought all of the Strongholds if I would have known that I wasn't going to be getting credit for all of them. And I was like, do people seriously just buy Strongholds for Conquest? And they said, yes, seriously. People are just buying Strongholds for Conquest. And I'm like...
That frankly doesn't surprise
That's not
me
going
at
to
all.
change, though, with this. We'll talk
That's
more about it here in a
mind-boggling.
second, but it's not going to change. I mean...
How many strongholds are there, by the way? Just
Oh, goodness.
out there.
If someone in chat knows...
Drummond Koss, Nar Shaddaa, Yavin 4, Tatooine, Umbara, and isn't there? Oh, Manon.
Manon.
So 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's one more than the...
The
number
150,
you need to
yeah,
hit
if
your
it's
max.
25 per, if you collect 6 of them. And by the way, you can't have duplicates now, since the United Forces update. If you brought in, like, if you had... oh, you forgot Coruscant. Did we mention
I've got
Coruscant?
like 3 of every single
No,
one.
I said.
Okay,
I said.
so
Coruscant,
if you have 2
Yeah,
Coruscant strongholds on different servers and they merge and you got 2 Coruscant strongholds out of it, then that does count, 25% for each of those. So
Correct, but it's not the issue is that if you've maxed them out, that you're not getting as much of a payoff if you've done that. But we can
Yeah,
talk about that.
so I'm gonna be butthurt because I don't get 300% because I have like triples of everything. Like,
Well,
Get
Magic
over
Hubby's very
yourself.
mad. Magic Hubby's very mad because he spent lots of several minutes
Farming.
putting down chairs everywhere.
farming meat trees.
So he's gonna be mad that his chairs no longer count.
Dude, if steak
They
grew
do.
on trees, I would be a...
they still look just as terrible as a man's stronghold should.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, sometimes when he logs on and goes AFK, I go in and I'm like fixing his strong.
There
When he
you
comes
go.
back, he's like, "That is better than what I had."
That's hilarious.
I am not going to say the words thank you, but I'm thinking them.
I like the fact that Musco called people out about that in the post, but we can get to that later. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah, if you want to
About
talk
the
about
actual-
what happened in chat, and then we can look at the official.
Oh, what happened
We
in
got-
chat?
8 yeses and 2 is Conquest and 0 no's.
Nice. Good. I'm gonna give claps for the people who said, "What's Conquest?" You go.
Because at least, is that how you would have answered this?
No, I mean, I said no.
You said
That was
no.
my answer was no, it's not going to change my play style at all. I'm just hopefully going to luck out. It's like finding a 20 in your pants, right? It's there. That's what Conquest is for me currently. Anyway.
Wait, I didn't notice. Did Magic say what she would have voted?
She didn't yet. Magic, how would you have voted on this poll? Like, are you going to try
Well,
it?
I voted in chat with A
Okay.
because I'm already into Conquest, and so if this means that I have a better chance of getting rewards by doing it this way, then I'm fine with that because I don't have time to just pour points into Conquest. I don't. Like, I barely have time to farm credits so that I can make repairs for the hard mode raid
Right.
group I'm in.
No
I
kidding.
mean, like, I don't have time for that. if I am in a mood for PvP and my kids are in bed or like they're over at my parents' house and so I have a little bit of time, I'm like, load the dishwasher, PvP. Boom, Conquest is done. So to me, it's like, if I can actually get more rewards and do it this way and not have to really do all that extra, then yeah, I'll do it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that. I want to win.
All right, so it sounds to me like Conquest isn't your primary play style, because Conquest kind of spreads you out a bit over a
heck
few
no.
activities.
I'm all about in-game content. If I can't hard mode raid or ranked PvP, then like this game is just not worth the money for me.
Okay, so if those are very big, strong, featured Conquest activities, you're likely to get your Conquest. If not, then you won't. Yeah, fair enough.
Like on Sunday, yes, I got it for the first week in months.
Awesome.
There was a bonus.
See, it's like finding a 20.
Hey,
I didn't get to do
Okay.
anything
In your
Sunday
pants.
really because my computer.
Right, in your
So
pants.
yeah, not in my pants though. It was in my bra.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Whoa.
Speaking of,
Wow.
let's. How do you?
So
You guys are
don't
talking about finding
fall.
things in your pants. Don't look surprised, all right? Like there's pockets and stuff in there. Like mine's pretty straightforward.
Okay, so the results, the community results. We have 323 votes. And the number one choice for the community with 163 votes is yes. And that was 50% of the respondents. Second was what changes what is Conquest with 104 votes. Again, very nice. Did I say it's 32% of the total? No was 56 votes or 17%. So very interesting, really.
So the rough breakdown is that 1 in 2 people say, "Yeah, I'm going to try it out. Or I'm going to do this." 1 in 3 people
And 1 in 3
say,
it's like,
"What
what are
was going on here? I have no idea what's going on."
Exactly.
And then that little sliver of who is the half a person that's left, or the I don't know what, the sixth of a person or something that's left, are gonna
what I like
not do it.
actually, yeah, it is a 6th, isn't it? It's pretty nice. Cool breakdown. The one thing I'm kind of hoping actually is if they're actually genuinely successful with these changes to make this a more compelling and more achievable style of gameplay, then what you're going to see is that third of people that don't know about the changes or don't even know what conquests are should actually be able to discover this through their gameplay. Like they'll get a big window that pops up that says you've completed your conquest goals, and they're like, whoa, what just happened? And then at the end of the week, because their small guild has taken one of the small planets, then they get a guild reward too. And then that's, hopefully that's what I'm hoping to see, is that you actually make this achievable on such a level that a huge portion of these people that have probably never seen any of this suddenly realize that there's a extra depth to this game that they weren't aware of.
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Wouldn't it be cool if your guild did, because you still pick your guild activity per week or however they do it.
Invasion.
You do your invasion.
Invasion?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's a little different name now or something, but essentially an invasion. Your officers pick what the guild is going to do. Although I think now it's random, isn't it? There's like we'll talk about the changes. But wouldn't it be cool if whatever, when the week started out and we have a new conquest objective as a guild, when you log in, it pops up and it says, okay, here's what the guild is doing this week, blah, blah, blah. I think that'd be great.
Yeah,
In-game notifications along those lines would certainly be beneficial, but I feel like we're going to need to see some more guild interface improvements. Like that's a UI feature for the guild that we need, right? We've got the message of the day. There should also be a declaration of the week, like once a week. Hey, your guild is, this is what your guild has chosen for their conquest goals this week.
Yeah, just some kind of a notification. Because really, literally, you can be in the game now and be a member of a guild and be doing your thing and never know, if you don't bring up the conquest window, you will never know what the guild is doing. That there's no reminder, really, to say, hey, by the way, we're doing this. I think that'd be kind of cool to see.
well, and also hopefully this will encourage guilds to actually get back into doing things. Like I said, we used to do stuff, but we just, after several weekends of not being able to find commanders to be able to take down, we'd have groups of people. I think, Sakari, you've done it at least a few times, right? with us when we couldn't even find commanders because they had
Right.
all been taken down, and we had other guilds camping the spawn points. It just got to the point where
Well,
people I organized my life around a Sunday, 5 o'clock for this.
right. Well, so okay, so there was a
I mean,
downside to
was-
that, and that was that back. I know it wasn't necessarily so on every server, but on the Harbinger when we were doing this as a guild, it was light side every time, light side, light side, light side, light side, and so the light side would win. The only way that you could farm the dark side commendations or whatever those tokens were for the dark side gear vendor or whatever is to go out and find the commanders and kill them. That was to farm them, manually was the only way to do it. So yeah, but then everybody was doing that, so that was problematic. When they balanced things a little bit better, I think that kind of made the commanders push less of a deal. But yeah, I definitely.
So now, can somebody remind me what is the purpose of the commanders again?
So the
'Cause
idea
I was
is
never particularly into
it's a DVL
farming
thing.
those.
It's basically it's. I wish they would beef up on it more to make it actually more noticeable. But basically, the idea is that if the dark side wins, then the Empire is getting ahead in the galaxy, and we're winning, and our NPCs pop up all over the place, all over the galaxy, on the planets, and so. It's a little more dodgy for the Republic to run
that
around.
wasn't what
That's two separate parts. We're
Right.
talking Conquest, not Dark versus Light.
Yes.
Conquest is there's different kinds of commanders. The name commanders drop encryptions of whatever kind so that you
Right.
can collect those to transfer them to the bigger one to unlock portions of your guild ship.
Correct.
That's the whole point of that. So not only do you get conquest points, each of your members in that group get a blue encryption of some sort that they pick up. And then there's a chance for a purple. And the purple is the real goal. Like you want the purple on it. So that's the whole point of commanders is for those
Right.
encryptions to unlock your guild ship.
And that's
The
So
Dark
it's to
versus
unlock
Light's a
guild ship.
separate boss.
So the darks. So Unholy Alliance's guild ship is unlocked. We were working on Bowcaster, the Wookiee Mistake guild ship. It is not all the way
Okay.
unlocked.
But I think we entirely
So-
lost interest in it, and it's just ground to a halt. Nobody's done a thing in ages.
Well, it was because we came out multiple times and we would run around as a group looking for it for commanders we could take down, and we couldn't find any. And that was like at least 2 weekends in a row, if not 3. And then everybody was kind of like, huh. And then also the command system came down
Right.
and kind of like decimated that whole system too. So it was like a perfect storm of just
Sucking the life out of
having
it.
to reset. Everything had to be reset. And then when we came back around, there was salt about loot boxes, and then getting your gear, and then
Things
it just
compound,
kind of-
yeah. No kidding.
Well,
It's
I
just
think
kind
an
of-
additional thing that became a big discouragement for people getting participating in conquests is the first thing that they chose to improve in this update, which would be the fact that you can actually get your rewards now.
Right. There was no incentive there to finish it.
Right.
So why, Redna, you bring up a good point. Can we go over these changes real quick, just for the two people in chat that are like, what Conquest changes? Because we do know they're here.
Well,
So-
just do the
Reward
highlights.
delivery item number 1.
Yeah, exactly. You can get your rewards now, and they talk about a lot of UI improvements, which honestly I'm a little bit interested in. Generally, their UI improvements are actually quite satisfactory. They have been in most of their other UI improvements, so
Yeah,
that'll
because I hate
help.
clicking on those tiny little boxes and like I have to get right up on my screen and I'm like, it's just annoying. So I would like to see that change. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and breaking out into the tabs and kind of isolating the information a little bit better is going to be nice. We've also got, and this is the one thing, just so that you guys know out the box, the reason why I changed my vote to yes, I'll participate is because now completing objectives for conquests will be awarding credits. It'll be awarding experience points. It'll be awarding command experience points in addition to the conquest rewards. So realistically, if I'm going to be continuing to further my character, whether I'm leveling or trying to get access to the higher level gear, participating in the conquests is going to be helpful. And I was thinking about this, if whatever it was that was, the stated goals of whatever planet are guild had decided to park the ship at, if that also coincided with the daily for the CXP of the day, like, heck, I'm going to grind the heck out of that for the CXP bonus, on top of the fact that I'm going to be getting Conquest CXP bonus and money and Conquest points out of it. Like, this is tying it into the other things that I'm supposed to be working on generating to further my own character. That's why I think I will actually like try and pay attention to the days that there's significant overlap so that I can really maximize my returns and get my character geared up faster or leveled out faster.
Yeah, they're incentivizing
I'm honestly excited
it
for the daily rewards.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to repeat things. Like, there's specific things that I've got a niche for. Like, I want to be able to repeat those things to be able to get points and not have to do things that are a pain in my butt that I don't want to do. And that honestly, everyone around me is like, why are you doing this? Because they're Conquest. And they're like, well, we hate you. Get out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to be repeatable so that I can really do what I like to do. That's what I would like. I can't wait for that.
Well, and to that end, we're not only getting... we still have the one-time and repeatable ones that have always been in the game, depending on where you're parked. Well, the bonuses are depending on where you're parked. But,
yeah, completely.
The goals are based off of the Conquest of the Week, which, by the way, is supposedly now going to be randomized. Although originally when they launched it, they meant it to be randomized, but it was kind of hard-coded into it, and so the data miners were always able to figure out what was coming next. We'll see if the data miners figure out a way to understand what the random chances are or not. But on top of that, there are also going to be new daily objectives, which is kind of cool. You got the ones that you can just repeat over and over and over again, but then there's also going to be additional things that you can do on a daily sequence, as opposed to basically doing it over and over and over again or doing it once a week.
So I'm just confused though. It says here that the invasion bonus for Conquest objectives they have removed. So we're just picking a planet and like going.
Well, so the reason you're picking the planet is because you're picking as to the difficulty, which also is reflected in the quality of the reward. So you're going to have at least 3 planets to choose from. One's going to be easy mode, but a piddly reward. Another's going to be medium mode, and it's going to have a better reward. And then there's going to be the harder one, which basically just means you need a much larger number of Conquest points to be able to complete it for the week. But then you're also going to get a much larger reward out of that. And the stated objective from that is the fact that they are trying to incentivize bigger guilds to go for the harder rewards, and the smaller guilds to go to smaller rewards and give people a fighting chance. Now, realistically, if you still have the Galactic Conqueror title in there, I don't see how this disincentivizes big guilds from dominating the easy planets when that's the title they're trying to get for the week.
And also when you're talking about guilds like, I don't know, Bloodbath and Beyond that have multiple guilds, like, I mean, they could theoretically like hit several planets like on each tier.
We don't know, but if they've retuned this that there's only going to be 3 every single week, then basically they're still going to take all 3 every single week.
Right.
There's not that many guilds that are that active that's what they're going to do just to maximize their own return. Right. Which, but we'll see how this plays out. I'm curious. I'm curious. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, there's no bonus depending on what planet you're going to now, but the reward that you're given. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, it sounds to me like realistically, if you still want to get that galactic title, you still need to do what you needed to do before, which is join into a guild that's guaranteeing to, be switching out which planets they're doing and getting everybody that title. Which is fine because otherwise they've disassociated those leaderboards and what those rewards are. Now, if you meet criteria, you get full rewards. So every single guild, it doesn't matter if you're in the top 10 or not, will have the opportunity to get the fullest of the rewards by simply meeting whatever that stated goal is for the planet. So that's actually, I think, an improvement. It guarantees you're going to get returns.
Right, and this is on a per character basis, right? Because Trig PT asks in chat, are the rewards character based or account based? I think they're character based. I've not seen anything that makes me think otherwise, at least. So that is an assumption, but
yeah. They always have been, and they didn't explicitly state that was changing, so I would be surprised if it did.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are people who would sit there and run I mean, I think Magic was mentioning she has a few in a guild. I would imagine that those folks would grind out Conquest every week on their collection.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, Brutality grinds like hard mode and nightmare content. So yeah, Conquest, easy peasy.
The only other thing, well, we already mentioned the fact that how the stronghold supply has changed. Instead of needing X amount of decorations put across your strongholds, now you just need to have them unlocked. We did later get clarification on that.
Right.
You get 25% per stronghold, but you need the entire stronghold unlocked to get the entire 25%. Otherwise, it's X amount of rooms divided by 20 on the 25%. So if you haven't,
I have 2 left for Manon and 1 left for Umbara. I guess I gotta go make some money.
Well, if you've got all 7 strongholds, then you only need 1 unlock on Umbara to get your full bonus.
Don't you? I was gonna say, don't you hate it when you're as broke in game as you are in life?
Yeah, well, I actually have slightly more money in real life than I do in game. I can actually buy new clothes in real life. I'm like, I'm too broke. I have the same outfit for.
This is supposed to be a fantasy thing, not reality.
Yeah,
me.
I can't even pay to darn my clothing in this game.
Actually, yes, I had to go and do heroics. Like Ord Mantell's the easiest ones to do, so I did Ord Mantell on like all my pub tunes that were able to do Ord Mantell just to make some money. I went and did CZ on all of them because I could do it quickly,
right.
And if I need to get up to take care of my kids, I could do it fast. That's how I ended up with like 700K just so I could do repairs for my group because I was so broke. I had no money to repair my gear from the night before.
If you're hard mode rating, you definitely need to be running some weeklies on the side just to kind of keep that cash, offsetting it.
And see, I have some cash, but God, I like have to sit. I've like turned into the, do I really? Is this really worth, 2 million when I'm gonna have to go like do heroics? To like get it back.
Those weekly areas are fantastic for that.
Oh, she froze. Hopefully we haven't lost her.
What an image, though.
She does look good, I gotta say.
She was making a really good point right there.
She was really into it. And anyways, yeah, that's
so I guess I want to read this. Oh, actually, so the one exception to the rule, which is worth mentioning regarding the randomization of the conquests, and Sakari, you might need to reformat. But the key here is that while the Conquest Weekly will be random, if there is one of the significant events happening for the week, like the Gree Invasion, or Bounty Hunter, or Rakghoul Plague, or whatever, if there is any kind of Conquest information tied into the event, then that Conquest will be active for that week for the event for the calendar. So the one way that you can tell and plan and schedule ahead what it is that you want to do for your Conquest event is if you know that there's an event tied into it, then you can actually get prepped. Particularly if, I don't know, like if the Gree Conquest happens to be a crafting-centric one, then you'll be able to get all your mats prepared leading into that. Beyond that, I did actually also want to read, as we hopefully get some Elise back sooner than later. On the Guild Conquest front, they have gone even further on changes. They have untied guild rewards from Conquest leaderboards, which we mentioned, with the exception of the guild in first place, which still gets that Conquest title and planetary bonus. Every planet falls into one of 3 designated invasion targets. These targets differ by the minimum Conquest point threshold that we call planetary yields. These thresholds determine the minimum points a guild has to earn to receive those Conquest rewards. The higher the yield, the harder it is for the guild to receive the reward.
Okay.
But also means a better reward. They made the change to encourage more leaderboard competition among similarly sized guilds, smaller guilds going after smaller yields, etc. Note that this is not a restriction, just a recommendation. So that if a larger guild wants to go for lesser rewards in a smaller yield, they can. And the same is true of a small guild that's a try-hard guild.
So, Redna, let me ask you something based on this, what you were just reading. Do you think that they are are heavily incentivizing larger guilds?
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. Because that's what it seems like to me. Is like they are incentivizing people to be in large guilds in order to be able to take on. Because the rewards for the big ones are obviously a lot better than they are for the smaller ones. So it's essentially gated. You can't access like the tier 3 ones because you're a smaller guild. So if my style as a player is that I want to get in there and I just want to hang out with 2 or 3 friends and we're buddies in real life and we play SWTOR together and we just got a guild of about us and maybe a couple other people. There's 6 of us in a guild. We're gonna go for that tier 1
minimum. So
okay, so let's come up with a bigger scenario then. Let's say there's 11 of us total, right? We can go do that first tier and have fun doing it, whatever. But we are but we'll never be able to access tier 2 or tier 3 because we're just going to we're never going to reach the goals, and B, we're just not big enough. So essentially, I think it rewards people that are in bigger guilds, and as a result, maybe is unfair in punishing certain social styles and rewarding others.
Well, I would flip that on its head. The current system rewards mega guilds to the oppression of all other guilds. These changes, while there is still the incentivization, if you want the fullest of the Conquest experience, you're going to need to be in a super big guild. But now, at least, they've untied some of that from the oppressive nature of those mega guilds so that those smaller guilds can at least still reward. They may not be able to gain all of the highest of the rewards, but they can ensure that they still at least gain more rewards than they had previously. And if they want to, if you've got 11 friends, but you've all got, 8 characters, because you've got all the base or all the advanced classes, and you decide that you guys just want to make a mega effort that week, realistically, you probably could at least get the tier 2, and we'll have to see where these, what do they call them, planetary yield thresholds are at, but, it's conceivable that a significantly try-hard small guild could at least get the rewards. They're still not going to become galactic conquerors,
right?
But it looks like this is at least affording the opportunity to get those rewards. But yes, of course, it's still going to incentivize the bigger guilds.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that the decos, of course, I care about the decos. I want the decos to be available for you to pick up at the vendor, regardless of where you fall. The Galactic Conqueror title for people crushing it or whatever, I think is appropriate. But I hate when they lock decorations and stuff behind.
Right. By the way,
tiering.
We need to bring this up since we talk about this decorations thing, but we have another little piece to read. Red, I don't know if you want to read the next post.
I think it's your turn.
It's my turn. Okay, fine. You are our resident reader.
Emperor.
You are our resident reader.
Needs kindergarten classroom. We all just take turns reading. It's your turn.
Dang it! I have to read. This is beyond me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this because
I understand that your scribes are accustomed to reading too.
So Elise brought up that vendors, right? And she wanted them to be available. There is an interest. This is the first time I've seen this. I've seen them do this. But somebody asked, hey, what's up with the vendor? We'd like to know more about it. Eric Musco on the forum says, good catch. The vendor is on the fleet, but they will not actually appear for your character until you have completed your personal conquest for the week. I've never seen that happen. Then he goes on, he says, once you see the vendor, they sell both the Stronghold Decos and the Commander's Compendium. By the way, about the Commander's Compendium, the Compendium sells for 4.25 million credits and 3 dark projects each.
Okay, I have a bunch of dark projects still sitting in my
yeah, you're sitting pretty. Well, that's it, but 4.25 mil credits, and that's just to boost 1 companion to level 50 immediately. So you are still paying through the most. I'm going to be honest,
this was a lot more expensive than I expected on both the credits and the dark projects. I understand, actually, I think I probably do have a significant number of dark projects available, but I remember what it took to make those dark projects. That was a boatload of
I have
materials.
20, I think I have a stack of 20 or 30, something like that in there. I just keep making them anytime I have a character that says they can make them. I'm like, oh, craft. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I get excited about it. I'm like, oh, I could craft one.
Dark projects.
They just sit in my bank and not do anything, but it makes me happy for a few minutes.
Well,
So I'm kind of excited because I don't like have any character. No, I have no companions that are right. We can use it on our companions to get them up to 50,
yes,
right?
totally.
So
Yeah.
I have none that are 50 yet. So
Although,
I'm
okay,
kind of
so
like, yeah,
Elise, let me say this: like, you can quite easily push a companion by rewarding them with.
you just tried to say the evil word of farm.
Well, oh.
You started to go there.
I did start to go there, but then I thought that's not a good word for it, so I did kind of veer to another direction. But you can get a companion into the 30s, 32 or 33, whatever, just by rewarding them. And that's all you need to be able to do anything with that kind of companion. Any kind of the veteran mode content. You know, the Star Fortresses is what I'm thinking of. I could get a companion into like 32 or 33 and easily do the veteran mode Star Fortresses. I don't know what else. I don't know why you would need a level 50 companion, but I think that's neither here nor there.
Well, I was just noticing though that it says that you can't. It can't be. It must be used outside of a phased area.
Right, yeah. So you have to use them out. If you're going to use the Commander's Compendium, you have to use it outside of a phase area. You can't use it in a Flash one. I think in your Stronghold, you've got to use it on the fleet, for instance.
I was going to
but
say,
you can use
Stronghold
it, get them
either.
to 50, and then the companion stays 50, right? For some
Right.
reason, I was reading this that
Right.
your companion won't be 50 except outside of phased areas.
And
so
apparently-
I was like reading it going,
Well, I mean, let's be honest
doesn't
though.
make
Even
any sense. Why would you care? You don't need it in open world, a companion that's 50. Really.
And you can't use it on Darth Mar. He's not on the cool kids table.
but to be
That's
perfectly
actually
honest,
kind of sucky.
you know what though? That's actually really considerate. Because these people that, you know, you get a companion, you realize that in Kotet and Coffee you're getting 5 bajillion new companions, and you decide to dump one of these compendiums, which really is expensive, onto a companion that you're about to lose in 2 chapters. I'm actually glad that they had the presence of mind to protect people from wasting their materials that way.
Right. Anyway. So I don't know. Like, let's ask everybody this: do you think this is a? Let's take a step back and look at the whole thing. Do you think this is a welcome step in the right direction for Conquest? And if you know, or would you make any further changes? Is this kind of size it up for me? What do you guys think of this?
Any further changes?
Yeah, just as a whole.
I mean, unless they did something that catastrophically breaks it and they have to like make a major alteration. No, I think that once they get this done, they'll probably stop, because Conquest was never like a big deal for them. I think they had a good idea and it was exciting, but when it didn't pan out the way they wanted, I think they kind of just were like, well, you know, it's here now, so we'll change it as needed. And now they're actually doing something because people have begged for it for so long, or because they finally wanted to do something, or they were given the resources, whatever the reason. They finally are doing something. I think once this is done and the changes are implemented, more than likely we're not going to see any major changes again, just simply because it's never been a priority for them. I think it was a really great idea, and it just didn't live up to what they wanted, and so it was kind of flat. So no, I don't think there'll be more changes.
I do think it is pretty cool in a sense. That they're rewarding guild membership. I want to see more of that, because that's the social side of things is what makes this game cool. I think it's good in the sense that there is more of a global mechanic in this game that sort of ties everything together. You can PvP, you can rank PvP, you can go do your operations, you can go do whatever, but in the sense, all of those different activities all contribute to one united effort, I think. And I think this is also what they're trying to do incidentally with Dark versus Light. But it all contributes kind of to a core effort of me and my people are trying to fight as heroes in the galaxy. And I think that's pretty cool. I like that idea. And I think if they can maybe discover that what they need to do to make that work properly and kind of make that work, I think that'd be great.
Well, but to play devil's advocate for just a second, how many times, I don't know, it just seems like every time, if we're going to talk about it as in terms of Dark versus Light, I'm never on when like my pub characters where it's actually light side for my pub characters.
Right.
Every time dark versus
Yeah.
light goes
Well,
off,
they
it's
broke
dark.
dark versus light with an 18.
I mean, and
Yeah.
and it's the same thing on the other side. So I mean, I
Wait. Is the status of the light versus dark in the galaxy different depending on faction?
No,
it can be.
it's depending on server. It's per server.
Right.
Okay.
Just because Darkside's winning on
'Cause
one
it's
server doesn't mean
always
it's
light
winning
side
on.
Right.
Harbinger. Or
No,
Steel Ship.
I maxed out Darkside tokens just the other day, just because I was leveling a new tune and she'd only had like rank 3, and
Is
so
there a
you
max?
get up there. Yeah, it's a weekly max. There's a weekly max of
Oh.
100 tokens you can get per character. So
Okay.
I maxed out on her, and I got the little notification, and I ignored it because it says you're getting close at like 80. And then I got to 100. I'm like, well, crap! Wow, I've never maxed out before. That's great. They're finally doing Darkside again.
I
was
have
excited about
never
that.
even gotten close. So every time I've been on when
I maxed
it
out on one
flips,
dark tune
it was
and one light
it
tune.
was dark, and I was leveling the light tunes.
Yeah, dark
So,
versus
I
light
mean,
is
like-
thoroughly broken right now. The windows are
It
way
is.
too long, and they need to shorten those. It was better how it was before, but they didn't need to make it longer. But they made it like way overkill longer, and so it kind of
And
broke that whole thing.
The other thing that I would like them to go a little further. I think any movement they make in any direction, I think is good. So I want to put that out, preface with that.
Okay.
That any change, in my opinion, is a good change, at least to try and see what happens. That said,
Yeah, because that means it's not dead. It means they still care and they still want to improve.
well, I mean, and also that it's really boring to sit here and play the exact same way for 3+ years. I
Yes,
mean,
exactly.
so
It's nice to see change.
right, change is good. However, I still don't
Unless
think
you're a
they went
creature of
far.
habit, then change is scary.
Right, and some people, there's some people that go out there and just do dailies all the time because that's their jam, whatever, and they probably don't like change, but whatever.
Yeah, those are the people
Um,
with like millions and billions of credits, and they're like,
no,
you can
I
do
don't
this magic. It's cheap. It's only like 3 million. And I'm like, why don't you just kick me in the crotch? I mean, like, you're basically just telling me I suck because I don't have your money. Sorry, I'm bitter. I'm not bitter, though.
can't. Yeah, I can't do it. But
Probably
anyway,
because unless your crotch hat drops credits, they don't need to be wasting their time there.
Well, it's like a Mario kick. Like, gold coins just drop everywhere.
well, my point that I was trying to get at was I still don't think they went far enough to encourage there to be cooperation, encouraging people to get in there. And then also, I think we still have that issue of certain groups of people being able to dominate here. And I hope that I'm going to be very interested to see how this shakes out, especially at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But I really would have liked there to be more community cooperation, more community encouragement of activities together. And I'm not seeing that in what we see, really.
Right.
So that's just my one, gut check reaction when I was reading this. But I like the fact that they're moving at least in a direction.
Do you know what else
Of
I
some
like?
kind.
I like for you is that if you are interested at all at selling those dark projects, you're going to be one rich woman in this game.
Oh, that's a good
People are
point.
going to want to buy those, and if you're sitting on a horde of them, you're going to be in great shape here shortly.
I'm a Matt's hoarder. Like, I have a problem. My husband, when he was moving a tune to Harbinger before the merge, I was like, wait, let me see your legacy bank. He's like, why? I'm like, just do it. And he's like, why? I'm like, just do it. And he's like, okay. So the tune he transferred, I made him put tons of mats on that tune and transfer it over for me. And I pilfered all of his mats. It was glorious. He's like, well, I don't have anything left. I'm like, well, good. You don't craft anymore. You don't need it. And he's like, oh, okay, that's true. So I have a legacy bank full of my stuff and then full of Magic Hubby stuff. So I'm a hoarder. I got 2 legacy banks full of crap.
Well, and I think I'm a little bit more optimistic, but the thing is as with any of these changes, you really don't know how meaningful or how helpful it's actually going to be until you see it in place. And to me, I fall in the same category as Elise here, just because I think that they've done absolutely nothing to disincentivize mega guilds crushing certain planets, or frankly enabling those people that don't want to play with those mega guilds for whatever reason. There's just no way to really overcome that. Instead, they're just saying, hey, you can have the majority of the rewards, but you're not going to have access to certain aspects of this, which can be discouraging. That said, I think this appears to be in the right direction. This is at least enough incentive for me to dabble in there and see if there's a way for me to like min-max my time for my return, utilizing the CXP and the credits and everything else. Additionally, I think the biggest thing is, to me, this feels like what they have been tending to do with class changes, right? Like they're doing small incremental changes, and as long as I've got more coming, then I'm extremely hopeful. But if this is like a one and oh my goodness, the community reacted poorly and I'm too scared to try again, then I'm going to be really disappointed.
Right. Here's hoping. All right, have we said all that we want to say on this topic? We'll see what happens when it comes out. Maybe here's hoping.
Yeah, and I do hope that at some point they do give us, as one of those dailies or something, is it like, I conquered the Emperor Sakari? Then I'll do that one every time.
Yes. Redna and I are currently playing another game called Opus Magnum, and we're competing against each other. In some I'm not even going to dare go into it, but it's very competitive.
I would say the only one who has that title would be Erisea. She conquered the Emperor Sakari.
Yeah, she's hoping too. All right, so I just want to make sure to throw this out there before we wrap up the episode. Bad Feeling is doing their, they're calling it the South by SWTOR, I guess, meetup. It's a pretty cool idea. It's doing the South by Southwest get-together here in Austin, but they're going to do it kind of away from everybody. They're going to get together at the Brass Tap in North Austin, 6 p.m. this coming Saturday. If anybody is down there for South by Southwest, definitely swing by the Brass Tap and come hang out with us. I'm going to go down there specifically for that, so I want to go be a part of that again this year. It's been a blast to do that beforehand, and I just wanted to throw out there, if anybody's in Austin for this coming weekend, definitely show up. It'd be great to meet you. And that's my thing, Magic. It's over to you.
All right, if you guys hear Magic Baby, just smile and pretend that you don't, or pretend that you love her. Anyways, so thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. We appreciate that you were here, that you were listening, that you were talking. We also appreciate that you were voting and paying attention to our straw polls. And if you weren't, then get on that so we can appreciate you even more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for loving this game. Thank you for loving this show. Thank you for loving us. We appreciate it. And just because I like saying thank you and looking at the camera, so thank you.
Magic's the best schmoozer ever.
Indeed. That brings us to the end of the episode. The council is adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. You can find Elise on Twitter at abrown35, Magic Ace at themagicace, me at R3DN4, and Sakari at I am Sakari. Don't forget to visit our website, www.thecouncilswotor.com, and follow us on social media. Also, don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecouncilswotor. That's it for this week, guys. In the immortal words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you define yourself by your power to take life, your desire to conquer, to possess, then you have nothing.
Have a great week, guys.
Public scum.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.